Emergency dispatch got a worried call from 37-year-old Jimmy Allen, who said he found his wife Amy passed out in their Michigan home's basement. 18 minutes before this moment, he had called 911 sounding upset.
What's going on there?
She's in the basement.
Somebody called
her up. I tried to give her CPR. I pulled her off and
The dispatcher told Jimmy to keep doing CPR while police cars rushed to help. Officer Ben J. Horn got there first. Even though Jimmy sounded scared on the phone, it was very quiet.
Okay. Did she make any statements at all?
When police asked what happened that night, Jimmy told them about their evening. Around dinner time, he and Amy had driven their daughter and her friend to a high school football game, then went downtown to drink. At a bar downtown, they got into a fight, and Amy decided to walk home by herself while Jimmy drove their car back. When Amy got home, they kept fighting, so Jimmy went upstairs and said he watched a Jim Carrey movie called Ace Ventura. When it was time to pick up their daughter, he went to check on Amy.
Irritated and I didn't do anything, so I went back down to check on her.
Does Amy have a history of anything like this? Nothing in her background at all?
Ever.
Okay.
Very confusing to him.
I'm hoping I wake up, dude.
The officers didn't believe his shock, especially since Amy seemed to have done something so serious without any warning. Suddenly, a medical worker came up from the basement with good news: Amy was still alive.
What?
Says she's fighting.
The medical team found a weak heartbeat, which meant she was still fighting. But when Jimmy heard that his wife was still breathing, he looked frustrated instead of happy. This made the police very suspicious of him. Jimmy said it was a normal morning.
Just listening to music and making lunch and breakfast, smile on her face.
He left for work around 7:30 in the morning, Ashley went to school, and Amy stayed home. He said he left work early and came home around 12:30 for a nap. At 2:45, when school ended, it was time to pick up Ashley and her friend Kayla.
Ashley had a friend over, Kayla, after school. Amy picked her up and I was just in bed. And they came here, she made everybody dinner, 6:30. We rolled out to take them to the game.
After a family dinner, everyone went to the high school for the football game. After dropping off the girls, Jimmy and Amy decided to go to bars downtown, first to Ember's Bar and Grill, then to JR's Hometown Grill and Pub. Security cameras later proved they were at JR's. The night went bad when Jimmy suggested selling their house and moving south, since the family had moved from Florida to Michigan just 1 year before. Amy really didn't like this idea and became quiet and unfriendly while texting someone. Security cameras caught Amy deciding to walk home instead of riding with Jimmy, showing how angry they were at each other. Amy got home and went to the basement with an extension cord. 7 minutes later, Jimmy decided to check on her. Jimmy found Amy in the basement and asked what she was doing.
Feeding Louie, one of our cats, and what the hell are you doing in the basement?
She was still mad at him for slamming a door in her face when they left the bar, though he said it was an accident. They fought for about 10 minutes before Jimmy went back upstairs, leaving Amy alone with the extension cord. When Jimmy realized it was time to pick up Ashley from the football game, he went back downstairs hoping to make up with Amy. Instead, he said he found Amy not breathing and started checking to see if she was alive.
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
And immediately do that and started, check for a pulse. When I glanced down there, I saw there looked like a upturned kitty litter pail.
Huh.
Because I'm like, like I said, it was just so,
Sure.
When police asked if there were any warning signs, Jimmy talked about their healthy lifestyle.
Spent all night kind of thinking and playing back what triggered what was.
Has she ever tried anything like this before?
Never had anything ever. Like, we live a healthy lifestyle. We work out. We go rock climbing 3 times a week in Ann Arbor. We cook meals at home. We grow our own vegetables.
Nothing ever? Okay.
Amy's family members came to talk to police with very disturbing information. They said Jimmy had waited 14 hours before telling them about what happened. They told police a lot of important things about Jimmy's controlling behavior and Amy's past. Police learned that Amy had gotten pregnant at 13 and had a son named Caleb. Jimmy became like a father to Caleb when he started dating Amy in high school. But family members said Jimmy was very controlling, watching everything the family did on social media, what they ate, and punishing the children too much. Family said Jimmy's controlling behavior also stopped Amy from getting a job and kept her away from her family. When Caleb turned 17 and moved in with his grandparents, Jimmy got mad and told Amy she couldn't talk to her family anymore, including her own son. Before police could build their case against Jimmy, they got terrible news. On September 17, 2018, after 3 days of not waking up, Amy was taken off life support and died. With a possible murder case now, police looked at Amy's phone records. Jimmy's controlling behavior was clearly shown in text messages where he constantly tracked where Amy was and demanded to know why she was there. Police found Amy's 3-year conversation with George, a married man from the East Coast whom she had met online. The messages clearly showed they were having an affair. Even on the day Amy died, she and George were constantly texting and calling each other. At 5:07 in the evening, George texted that he wished they could be together, and Amy replied at 5:29 saying she was excited to see him again. Police found out that Amy had been texting George during her fight with Jimmy at the bar. Police came up with a new idea. Maybe Jimmy saw Amy's text messages with George and got so angry that he attacked Amy in the basement. But when they tried to find Jimmy to ask more questions, he was gone. Just a few days after the incident, Jimmy and Ashley had packed up everything, including their 5 cats, and moved back to Florida to stay with family. Police were able to contact Jimmy, and he said he would come back to Michigan in a few weeks to get some of his things. The Michigan State Police took over the case, and Detective Larry Rothman was put in charge.
She never developed relationships in Mormon Ocala. She didn't have any friends. She was playing like video games compulsively, that World of Warcraft thing. I got out of hand, so she just sort of started isolating herself. And so I had taken measures when we got up here to help her break out.
He made himself sound like he was trying to help her overcome these problems, which went against what family members had said about how he caused her isolation. When asked about cheating in their marriage, Jimmy admitted to his own affairs but said Amy didn't have the social skills to have one. He didn't think Amy could form relationships outside his
lead up to the 14th, the same day that this happened. Clearly there was something going on between these two people.
Can you pull phone records to see if there's any numbers that I can see that I don't recognize? And that's like, to me, is crushing to think that she even has some alternate, like I legitimately, I still don't all the way believe you guys. I don't think that she has the capacity to do that. Like I said, this is the most shocking, I can't even process it.
Jimmy agreed to take a lie detector test while saying he was asked a forensic lab to test whether Amy could have killed herself the way Jimmy described. After many months of testing, the lab said that if Amy had tried to hang herself with the extension cord in that basement, her feet would have touched the ground. Another expert looked at the same test results and decided Amy must have been murdered. On October 16, 2020, Jimmy was charged with open murder, which meant the jury could decide what type of murder he was guilty of. By this time, Jimmy had moved on with his life in Florida. He even had a new girlfriend he was going to marry in just 5 days. But before the wedding could happen, Jimmy was arrested and brought back to Michigan. When police explained the charges to him, Jimmy said something strange.
If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of us, or they can contact us. Okay?
That's how you sleep at night. Oh.
Well, I guess I don't understand that question.
Okay.
A few weeks later, Jimmy said he was not guilty at his court hearing, with bail set at $10 million he had to stay in jail. His defense lawyer said Jimmy was innocent and had helped police throughout their investigation. In September 2021, 3 years after Amy died, the trial started. The prosecutor said she was confident the evidence would prove Jimmy was guilty. Jimmy's defense lawyer argued that there wasn't enough evidence and that it didn't make sense for Jimmy to suddenly become violent after 15 years of marriage.
There was a little bit of sexual content, that's what we talked about.
Confirming their 2 meetings in person and their emotional connection. He said Amy had shown no signs of wanting to hurt herself and was planning to see him again.
Now, have you ever met Amy in person?
Yes, twice. I was here for work, and she had some free time, so she came to the hotel.
So you're at a hotel?
Yes.
Did things that happen at a hotel happen at that hotel?
Some things, yeah. I wrote, I love you. And I wrote, I want more of you. And she wrote, I love you too. I'm ready to spend time with you in person. And I wrote, good. Let's do it. And then she wrote, end of October. And I wrote, I'm in.
Dr. Elizabeth Buck showed the jury the extension cord tests. Verdict: he didn't know what to do with himself. He wandered around for a bit, and when it was time to go to jail, he waved goodbye to his family. On October 21, 2021, Jimmy was sentenced to 20 to 45 years in prison. He is currently in the St. Louis Correctional Facility and will be able to ask for parole in the year 2040.